Keeping It Real is an interactive radio program heard only on Nice Radio. Join your host, Joel Abraham, every Friday as we discuss important issues affecting our society from 8 to 10:30 p.m. For persons living outside of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you can still listen to us on Nice Radio's website, www.niceradio.info, or you can email us at bdsnice@gmail.com, or simply give us a call at 784-456-5967. Remember, it's Keeping It Real, the interactive talk show program heard each and every Friday only on Nice Radio.
I'm no politician, so you can say that I'm campaigning. And it's quite a long time after this calypso to sing. Firstly, let me make this quite clear. Politics is no current, and we take morality and principle and push them to the rear. James Mitchell went and studied agriculture. He abandoned that now. He is St. Vincent Prime Minister. Arnell Campbell qualified as a lawyer, but the Attorney General office has more power. And you have to call him honorable, especially now we not so much about the Bible, cause every Sunday is a different church readers go when they broadcasting on the radio. Plenty poor people voting NDP, but when they win it's them big merchants sold Mickey. So I think it's time that we build our own party. Why? Cause real leaders, they out here. Just the way some does manage their salary. $18 a day, and I guess you have to pay. Light come out a day, rent come out a day. You have to left a thing still, or buy chicken back for eat. That's not sweet. So anyone who taking this meager wage and mind their family, you see they qualify to run the economy. Politicians treat us with scorn, but we always go in and vote them in. Like the bribery they just give away the stars our heads to spin. Even though they always swear and make promises to share, once they get the pension and gratuity, what the hell they care? Cruikshank used to struggle as a teacher for recognition, then fight against it as a minister. And don't bother laugh if you are labor, because your representation is no better. If you start bring this country country so under the backward leadership of Nathan Cato. You put the whole nation and I go slow. And up to now you don't know where the hell to go. There's the bitch, political bankruptcy. Lead the party till it reach down to the mortuary. Then leave it for post-talking to take to the cemetery. Why? Cause we're leaders, they out there. Check out the skills, them traffickers does display. Plenty of the crops farmers are to throw away. Now they getting paid, traffickers taking them away, and they bringing back all kind of currency to our country. So if we are to rescue our banana industry, we give the trafficker the agriculture ministry. Most of them pretending that they're so full of patriotism. But by now I think you know all the wolves in sheep clothing. Whenever election is near, that's your life they're going to appear. But this time I think we get sensible and leave all of them right there. When we grows impressing as a leader, unfortunately, the UPM seems like it's surrender. Anti-communist propaganda squeeze the party out of the political.
Good night, St. Vincent the Grenadines. It's a rainy Friday night, the final day of May 2024, a day that will not come again in our lifetime. Nevertheless, keeping it real is here on the air once again. So wherever you may be, every nook and cranny, foxhole, dog hole, crab hole, cyberspace, social media, what medium that you're using to hear this program, keeping it real is on the air. And as the saying goes, there's never ever a dull moment in St. Vincent the Grenadines. So exhale all the bad air that you have clogged up inside of you and making you feel frustrated and anxiety or whatever. And take a long, deep inhalation of oxygen so that you will all be well prepared to be enlightened, informed, and educated of the issues that are in the air that are impacting on you one way or the other, and you can make decisive decisions as to how, what, and where from listening to us on this program. Father William, it seems like this season gonna be starting off well for the farmers. The rain start coming, and they say the rainy season start from the 1st of June. It's also the beginning of the hurricane season. So people be prepared. Despite all the hassle and the struggle and the doldrum of life, see what little nitbit that you could put aside, because they say we should have above normal active hurricane season. So get a biscuit pan, pack some biscuits. If you can afford to get sardine or whatever, store up water, and all these things, hydrogen peroxide and Benadine and all these little things, make sure that you have them in case a storm may pass over during the season. So you will have your own thing to assist you with. But I get to understand that the bill concerning drinking in a funeral and those sort of things has been stand down for the time being. It did not go to the select committee or anything like that, and there was no discussion, no debate. So there is a bit of reprieve for some person. Although I cannot see your point of view that you're talking about, because I witness some behavior that I think is bordering on total hooliganism in a funeral. And I don't think we want those sort of things creeping into our culture. Yes, you could have a drink or whatever, but the sort of outrageous behavior, I can't agree. And another thing I can't agree with also is that yes, people have to live, but I don't expect a cat with all those beverages in the middle of a funeral procession. People have been downright, in such instances, lawless. I understand it's really by the side of the road, and as the procession going, you pull along behind or to the side, if there's space enough for you to do that. But not in the center of the procession. Totally out of hand. Right. But as you're saying, onions in Vincent the Grenadines. And it come because our politicians speak with a forked tongue, and all they're interested in is getting the vote. Principle and moral and etiquette are things of the past, as was said in the calypso that was playing a while ago with real leaders. And it is also a true statement that when good people see bad things taking place and turn a blind eye or ignore it, they only help to add fuel to this sort of situation where it will blaze more instead of being quelled. Because if good people would open their mouth and speak out, half of the things that has taken place in this country would have never seen the light of day. And it's a sad situation that we are facing now, because some have sold themselves so far that they are ashamed and embarrassed to open them out now to make an effort. Because some will say, when I see what happened long time, why you not being attacked? And they would coin it to all sorts of things politically. Now, I hear rumors concerning the vendors in Middle Street. And vendors in general, I get to understand that vendors are being punished for the part that they played for everyone in the no vote. You remember that no vote?
No.
I thought it was part of the theme that went around trying to convince people that they should vote yes.
Okay.
And they also tried to bribe homes by giving children money and all sorts of paraphernalia, and the children then wasn't voting. That was a slap in the face. And also, there were some issues that were blatant that should not have seen the light of day in the Constitution, but they were highlighted as main thing, and things that were to be made never see the light of day in the document, especially some involving the National Youth Council and youth participation in the whole country operation. So with that, it got a thumbs down, and they say that was a Roman gladiator sign and all sorts of negativity. But they should realize that they were the one who produced the hammer, and they were the one who placed the nail that drives the nail into the coffin of a revised constitution. Had they went and accepted that, okay, we will make some changes, and not a whole meal thing, it's either that or none. So that's why we are what we have right now. And when we see Barbados and other countries moving along and have moved away from the British, we wonder, well, why is it that we couldn't have been ahead of them with such? Now, my people, the vendors, even though you say you got punished because you was one of the main ones that voted no, and that is why now they want to get rid of you. That is one of the latest rumor I have heard. But yeah. But remember, the man said that's how he don't forget. And I say even the night before the election, that you have to deal with you, you deal with you. Do you call that statement? Okay. So the vendors are still facing it. Now they have reached a stage whereby some of them is only coming for 2 days, because when you pass through, I couldn't believe yesterday until they were end of the month. And especially today, is the weekend. And also the beginning of the carnival season to a hype. First time you'd see a lot of activities, and it almost seemed like a regular day. Some people were hoping that, okay, because it's end of the month and this sort of thing might have give a hype, a little hit. No. But yet, the goons were out in full parade. And they were looking for opportunity to snatch the people in good Suchuliman truck. That's what I'm calling the security for Tongboard. They are goons. More like Hitler Gestapos. And for the vendors over in the far 47 which was the old meat market. But basically nobody inside there anymore. And because everybody has abandoned that, because nobody went over there. And those that they had put up tent to the food take place being for Kong Kong. These people right now, they used to have tables. Now they are back on the ground. So you said you would make life better for them. Now they don't have any table. They are gone back to square one. They have to walk with their own paraphernalias and crocus bags and plastic or whatever to put them on the ground and put all this stuff. That is what it is. But you said that you are making the condition better. But it's better. And then you come in and you're demanding. How could you be so callous? And then now, you want to put some of them up on top of the area where you're putting up tents. If under normal circumstances, you could hardly get something sold on the ground. You don't have no escalator. You don't have no elevator operating. You don't have no pulley and winch. So people gonna get this stuff go up there. And how they gonna get them come down back to pack away and store? What sort of proper security would be in place if they want to leave them up there overnight or whatsoever? Because I get to understand, even though the market has security, things are being missing regularly. Some stores are being broken into and all that. And there's no compensation. I haven't heard at anyone being brought before the court for stolen things from the shops and so on, and the counters for vendors. But you're still demanding your payment. And there's no redress. No redress. But as I keep on saying to you, vendors, united we stand, we're able to get things happen. But if we fight against each other for petty stupidness and run into politicians who creating the problem for us, hoping that they would be the savior. Wrong. You have to pull yourself together. And as the Californian just sang, you are real leaders. What you have been doing for years that have made people jealous of what you have achieved. Look inwards, get your strength from within, and unite together to stand up against the enemy. Sometimes you have to do civil disobedience. You don't have to be rude, but there's power in silence and a unified stand. So you stand in front of Strongboard office, and if you want to make placard, you make placard, but you stand united and you make it clear. We don't want to meet in small group or whatever. We want to meet as a unified, organized body that we are. They may seem that we are not organized, but we are organized. And we demand our right to respect it as a pillar of the economy of this country, contributing in various ways and means to ensure the economy is a vibrant one. Many things that these supermarkets have on the shelf, vendors go and purchase them and bring them outside to sell differently. But yet the supermarket may say that, oh, you're competing with them. No. Because you may have stuff whereby you bulk buy and you're able to sell it by a penny less than what they're selling for. You're willing to take that risk? Yeah. Or sometimes you order stuff and when they come, you pull your resources. Some of these big businesses started off as vendors. And you need to respect the people for that. And I'm asking again the Chamber of Commerce to come and sit with the vendors and help them. They are part of the business economy. And we need to educate our people about finance and managing. Because the lottery made a lot from the same vendors, Father Abraham. Because a lot of them sometimes, soon as they make a little something, they go and buy the lotto. Or buy one the shop, the shop that is selling lotto. To buy the 3D and they play 4-1 whatsoever. So they are contributing to the economy. But yet they are being chased out of the economy. So when you put them out of a bread, they said poverty breed crime. Yeah. But before I came up, they had a news item showing where they went to Barely and they see crime is down, but the murder rate is up. Because last year around this time they said they had 10, but they claiming to say that already have 15, but I know it's probably around some 17 or 18 murder that we have had for the year. And then I saw a gruesome picture of a man being this figure chanting them. And they say that for pretty larceny. Maybe in Richland Park or somewhere like that. But you see, frustration are getting to people now. So much so that they start taking the law into their own hand. I remember last week I talked about the vagrant and the whole situation. The guy is still on the street, forever. And I show a sergeant of police the guy because he said he didn't know who it is. And he said when deal with it, but up to now they haven't dealt with him, and the guy still start to behave the same manner. Walking up the street this morning, he's threatening to kill and all them sorts of things. Who know when he would finally chip and is carry out what is being in his mind. Because he's coming asking you for money, and when you don't get, the frustration is pending thing because like whatever that he's using, whether it be crack or marijuana or what, that is pushing him on the edge. But nobody wants to deal with them. They are a nuisance. But the vendors who are trying to earn a proper living, they put in all kind of blunder and all sorts of things to stop them. So when they go off the street, how they go pay NIS? They bragging off and say, and how far away from tomorrow, your NIS rate gone up? Contribution that you have to pay. And they has lent the time of when you should receive your pittance. So some people might die before they even give back a penny. So we're leaders, they need to come together. You need to come together to address the problem that you are facing. Then pretty soon, education-wise, well, they already did the registration for the primary school. So pretty soon, children will be placed and you have to get your uniform and your school books and for the new ones who are going into kindergarten. Then there are also those that are going into preschool and daycare. And by the end of July, results should be coming back concerning KEEP and sexy. So it would have those that would be going into the community college, those who will be seeking jobs on the job market, and you might have few that might repeat because they wasn't too successful in the this thing. And then you also have the those in the secondary school and the primary school who have been promoted to higher classes. And the hue and cry after the carnival would be getting school books and uniform and getting prepared for the new school term. Also, some people would be traveling who can afford to take a loan or have something put aside or some relative out there may assist in once they had did well. And then the NIS coffers going to bleed again. For those who get the 5 subject or more with the math and English and those with KEEP who has got communication and all the necessary things. So it might be a couple of $100,000 well. Again, and I'm saying it is wrong. Because why they keep on giving that? Those who has contributed and are not getting more than at $300 a month, 150 a fortnight. I think the lowest that anyone should be receiving from NS is $500 for it. Let me be honest on the present condition of the economy. But millions of dollars that has been squandered, and the poor investment that has taken place with the NIS money has put a strain on the operation. That's why they can offer you any sizable increase on your return. But they have a saying that you are living longer. So because you're living longer, they are stretching it out further for you to get your return. And that is the time that you may need it most, because that is when the pains and aches, the stress, and the illness from the job start to take a toll on your tired body. And whatever you're getting, they can't help pay your water bill, much as for buying medication and food. But farmers are crying out. And I see a clipping with the Prime Minister saying that, oh, is road the one? Well, I go get them road. And it sounds so distasteful. But if it's road you want, you go get them road. We know the condition of the road since this government came into office. And we have promised on several different occasions that when this project done, they will do this road, or when this project done, they will do this road. And it never happened. Never happened. You see, when the airport was finished, they had all the equipment to do all these necessary things. And they had funds already. Funds is always available according to, if you're listening to Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, the Prime Minister. But coming to futation is some kind of hold up or some issue. So even the things that are priority are not priority for them until when it seems that they're back against the wall and they use it strategically as if they are doing something first that ought to be done as a natural, a national development for the entire nation, and not as if it's a gift. Like the statement that he's saying that, oh, we're going to be giving away the houses for free. It's taxpayers' money, our donor agents' money. And all that is doing is a form of bribery to let people be benevolent to you. Teach people the right thing. Tell them the truth about these things. They are not a gift, because you will not take your own personal money and do these things. No. But my final speak tonight is when I heard saw a clipping with the Prime Minister saying that, oh, the situation that we are facing with our population. And ladies between the ages of 20 and 35 need to go and start having babies, or people need to start having extra babies or work out something with the career, whatsoever. How did we reach to this situation? Have they analyzed the amount of debt that has taken place since COVID? Have they analyzed the amount of migration of our young and brighter persons that have left this country because of political victimization? These are things that when you're talking about the whole dynamic and demographic of the population, and one of these Friday evening, I'm gonna do a demographic on the farming community and what has become of these independent people who now has put down and abandoned the farm and prefer to get a hand out or work as a security personnel. They're no longer proud of themselves as farmers, where they could have walked into Silky on a Monday morning with $75,000 and say, I want that pickup. I gone far away.
No matter where you are in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, your radio is Nice Radio. 101.3, 96.7, 90.3 FM.
Keeping It Real is an interactive radio program heard only on Nice Radio. Join your host, Joel Abraham, every Friday as we discuss important issues affecting our society from 8 to 10:30 p.m. For persons living outside of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you can still listen to us on Nice Radio's website, www.niceradio.info, or you can email us at bdsnice@gmail.com, or simply give us a call at 784-456-5967. Remember, it's Keeping It Real, the interactive talk show program heard each and every Friday only on Nice Radio.
Important historic fact that very few business people have made it into the parliament. We know about lawyers and teachers, but the businessmen who made it to parliament are very few. Russell, Ken Boy, and perhaps myself, but nobody see me as a businessman. They see me only as a farmer. But it is important that that legacy of businessmen in politics continue. It is important that we give some focus to the private sector and deploy the mentality of the private sector in government.
Prime Minister.
Yes, that a businessman from the valley here want to be a politician. I tell him, consider another calling. Leave politics alone. This is where the NDP reached now. They want to rent a crowd. They're renting big 60 workers.
It would probably be a fair characterization to say that in most, if not all of our states, sadly, the criminal justice system is broken. I give you a few examples. In one CARICOM state recently, a man who had been in custody for 9 years on a murder charge had his case dismissed before the judge after hearing evidence, and because the judge found that there was no case for him to answer. 9 years in custody, no case for him to answer. Another instance, a man is charged with a fairly simple traffic offense. He's adamant that he's not guilty. There's no dispute about the facts of the case. Everybody admits the facts. The only issue involves the legal interpretation of a very short section in the traffic law. The man and his lawyer interpret that section one way, the police interpret it another way. The case has been going on now for over 2 years. And throughout that time, the accused person and his lawyer have been spending 2 to 3 entirely unproductive hours in court each month, only to be told that they must return the following month. A third example, from a different country. We heard an appeal recently at the CCJ. The man had been found guilty of rape and had been sentenced to a term of years. He appealed all the way up to us. When we examined the documents in the appeal, we discovered that although the man was still in custody, he really should have been released sometime before, because he had already served his sentence. Each of you must have your own examples, because these are not uncommon things that happen throughout the region. Frankly, viewed objectively, all of this amounts to an abuse of the people of the Caribbean, especially because it not only involves a massive wastage of time and resources, but it also implicates the liberty of the individual in a context where there is very little accountability. Caribbean people deserve a whole lot better. And it is incumbent upon those who work in the justice sector to work towards its improvement.
I'm fed up, Jaja fed up. I have to sing tonight about them parasites begging for a cigarette, and when they get they still want a light. If they have problems, I'm advising them. This ain't no joke. If you always broke, don't smoke. Well, every day you're smoking, I never see you buying. Buy your own cigarette. From morning till the evening, you round the corner begging. Buy your own cigarette. You cultivate the habit, you know you.
Pleasant good night, keeping it real right here on Nice Radio. Today ends the firearm amnesty. We know that the police initiate an amnesty starting the 1st of March, ending the 31st of May. But I was hoping, though, that at the end of the amnesty, which is today, that we should have given an update from the police. I didn't know if they did. I haven't seen anything in terms of how successful the amnesty were and what they was giving update all the time. So I was hoping that at the end of it today, that we would have had a statement from the police indicating that. We were told also that after the amnesty, we should have an increase, amendment to the Firearm Act, making penalty stiffer for persons who are in breach of the act. That means persons who have the illegal firearm or ammunition. So we await the police update. I hope that they give it next week, and we look forward to see what the government will propose in terms of the increase. I am not a supporter necessary of an increase in the penalties. I more interested in the apprehension and conviction, because you could have an increase as much as you want, and if persons are not being caught and prosecuted to the full extent of the law, I mean, we will still have persons out there with the illegal firearm. So we know people from time to time, police were able to apprehend, and because of the guideline handed down by the court you have to follow certain guidelines. So therefore, if I want Poya to get 7 years, I must walk within the guideline just in case Poya decide to plead guilty early. A percentage will be taken out. So if I want Poya to get the maximum of 12 years, I have to put it outside the reach of 12, just in case that person or persons plead guilty. So I'm not necessary, and I think we could do better in terms of prevention, and I'm talking about preventing the guns from entering our shows, because we know for a fact that we doesn't manufacture gun here. So we can do a lot more in dealing with that, and also the ammunition coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We were told also about the scanner that were installed. Let us hope that reduced significantly the amount of illegal ammunitions and guns entering our shores. So we hope that happens. But I don't know why you always try to read my mind. But today I was reading up on the referendum, and particularly the law relating to it, and documentation from an expert who basically make a presentation and submitted the documentation to the commission. And I I don't know if that makes sense exactly, whether or not after 15 years, person will be suffering for the vote in the referendum, even after I believe some of them may have voted for the party the next year, which is 2010, after election were called. So I don't know whether or not that make a whole lot of sense as they indicate. But what I know is that in the referendum, there were certain things that persons were not okay with. And I tell you this, and I don't contact my lawyer to deal with you. I was never, don't frighten me, joking. I was never part of no committee. I was never part of no yes committee. I was a member of the commission until the commission comes to an end after the referendum. Persons on the commission choose to go, some of them on the yes, some choose to go on the no. I remain a member of the commission until the falling up of the commission. So I just want to correct that part of it. I was never a member of yes or no. My terms of reference, basically, I was guided by that throughout the process. The justice system and the interpretation of the law, as you heard from the president of the CCG, Agent Sanders, one of the clip I played is from Agent Sanders. a member, the president of the CCJ, and he highlighted some incident where the justice system is woefully slow. And I believe that we can do better because, let us say, in a simple civil matter, you have to go to court 3 and 4 times, sometimes 20 times. A guy related an incident to me where it's a case with the tenant and the landlord, where he's the landlord. And he have to go court over and over again. For simple matter, everybody turn up in the court. It's a simple matter where you could just adjudicate in a few minutes and keep postponing, not to say all the parties are not there. And you have situation like these where the system is woefully slow. Because you heard Agent Sanders, person 9 years in custody for a murder charge. And by the end of the day, you heard basically you're free to go. We have no evidence against you. You're free to go. I mean, there must be something where we're able to compensate that individual or those individuals who were wrongfully arrested and detained. There must be something because that person or those individuals lost a period of their life. In this case, as Agent Sanders, Justice Sanders, highlighted 9 years of his life. And by the end of the day, you hear, okay, you're free to go. There's no case to answer. We must be able to do better than that in terms of our investigation. And if we messed up in the investigation, there must be some compensation for that individual. He or she, in this case, he may have been working. He lost his employment. I don't know whether or not this particular person was a father or a wife, a husband. So we don't know, but he lost 9 years of his life. And then we heard the other thing with the traffic case, a simple traffic case. Apply the law. Both the police are there, the person who commit the offense. That matter should not take longer than 10 minutes, 20 minutes to adjudicate and send both persons on the merry way. Whether or not you have to impose a fine on the driver or you dismiss the case. Why we have to keep going on and on forever? I was looking at the case and gathering some information with Adrian King also. And somebody sent a clip in with me from some Ascafan overseas. He's now related to the one that represent Gonzaga, I was told. It's just namesake. He just namesake, I was told. So, agent have been going to the court over and over again, and may I say, wasting precious time. The main accused, well, the main person the main witness, failed to turn up on numerous occasions, and I was told that is our friend, Trevor Bailey, or known as Buju. And I would like to hear my friend in court, well, because there's a large gathering. Most of the time when the Prime Minister walking through protest, you have black squad, white squad, all sorts of squad. And to see one, and then it's a Punji, one individual able to block him from entering or hinder him from going to Parliament. That doesn't make this particular case, well, most of the charges never make sense to me, but this one, I could have never seen it making any sense and reaching anyway. But the police, they continue. And well, the office of the DPP, so they continue carrying Agent to court. Week after week, and it's not literally week after week, but on numerous occasions, wasting precious time before the court when we know that it was impossible. Then the other case coming up next week, I was told also for you too, where they were, well, first, they were charged for having a public meeting and failing to obey the instruction of the police officer. And they were charged for that. I think I saw it in the newspaper with Patches, Nice, Agent, King, Luzette, and somebody else. So that again is a total waste of time, a precious waste of judicial time. And we can do better time. We could do better things than wasting precious judicial time over and over again. Because we know that that can't make any sense. How could you charge somebody for protesting when the Constitution gave them the right to so do? I mean, that is stupidness, in my humble submission. And therefore, the police also ought to carry out lawful orders. So if it's unlawful, you don't have to, well, you ought not to carry it out. Unlawful orders. I was told of a policeman who was transferred because somebody called him and said to lock up Poya. And he asked for what? And because the individual who wanted him to be arrested couldn't say for what, he refused. And the transfer, that is not a legal transfer. That is stupidness. That way head was so damn big. Yes. Excuse my language. But basic common sense. Because you're going to apprehend an individual, you ought to indicate to him what he's been apprehended for. So, Poya say, I must arrest you. I mean, how that'll make any logical sense in anybody's mind who are trained in law enforcement or have basic understanding of the Constitution. That can't make any sense. So we can do better. We can stop wasting judicial time or wasting the court time for these nonsense. And you know, I promised you last week. Hey boy. We dealing with the law again tonight. I promised you last week that I was going to deal with the posters. And I indicated to you that I did not walk with the particular portion of laws that deal with it, so I could not have dealt with it last week. But I laugh. I mean, I don't know whether or not the public servants that I almost going to say wasting our taxpayers' money, whether or not they are serious about doing the job or following the law. I wonder. So I look at the revised laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that is in volume 10 of 2009, and they had no change from the 1990 revised laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 1990, the revised laws. So it's 2009, 1990. So when I look at the particular charge, or the letter that was sent from, let me just find my letter, yes, from the Physical Planning Board, I want to say that you all should have a little more sense. I was told that the posters are on private properties. So, by virtue of that, most of us who have something between our two ears, would have thought that the letter should be addressed to the owners of the property and not to the individual that erected the billboard, because the law is clear in terms of what you ought to do if you are constructing or having any developmental anything. The law have certain provisions, and I'm going to read a part of it for you before I finish. So I look at the letter again, want to know whether or not I was seeing right. So the letter was written to the owner or occupier, the New Democratic Party. And this one in particular was for the billboard that was erected in Gibson Corner. And the person who affixed the signature or who prepared this document basically quoted section 16 of the town and country planning laws. And in the 2009, I have land was included, land and town and country planning in the 2009. So I'm going to read a portion for you and then we'll have a little discussion and I open the line. Subject to section 3, no person shall carry out or cause to be, and I'm sorry, I'm reading from the 1990, and I'm reading Cap 251, subsection 16, subsection 1. Subject to subsection 3, no person shall carry out or cause to be carried out any developmental except under and in accordance with the condition of a grant or permission for the development issued by the board. 2, every person applying for a grant or permission for development shall submit an application to the board in the form prescribed. 3, permission for development is not required in respect of, so let me take that part slowly. Permission for development is not required in respect of A, development which affect only the interior of a building of which does not materially affect the external appearance of a building. B, any work carried out on behalf of a statutory undertaking in pursuance of this statutory powers or duty. C, development authority under and executed in accordance with the Housing and Land Development Corporation Act. D, a change or use confined within the curtailment of a dwelling house which is in, wait, let me read that. Okay, a change or use confined with the curtailment of a dwelling house with incidentally to the enjoyment of the dwelling house as such. E, a change of use of land or any building occupied together with agricultural land for the purpose of agriculture. The erection, alteration, extension, or reconstruction of a gate, fence, or wall, which in height does not exceed 3 feet, 6 inches, where such gate, fence, or wall abut upon and any road capable of carrying motor vehicle does not exceed 6 feet in any case, does not exceed 6 feet in any other case, if after the completion of the work, so you basically get the gist of it. So the erection of the billboard does not fall, in my opinion, does not fall within the section 16 of the law that was mentioned in the letter. And let us say, for argument's sake, Section 16 was applicable, then the letter must go to the owner of the property. So let us take, for argument's sake, Poya, you are a contractor and you were contracted to erect a wall. You're the contractor now, I'm the owner. Who should the letter come to? Well, obviously, the letter must come to me as the owner. I hire Poya to do the construction, but I must keep within the confine of the laws. So therefore, I think that that letter and those persons, the individual who, or the board, whoever it is, sat and affixed their signature. Shame on you. And make it even worse. You quote in a section of the law that is not applicable to the issue that you are dealing with. It's just like you have a summons to serve, or you have a letter as a bailiff to deliver, and you don't have the person name correctly, then that person doesn't have to accept that letter. You can't say rightfully you have served that guy. So, wow. Then I saw this thing with the Public Service Union where, well, Montgomery, the Deputy Prime Minister, he lost me in terms of some of the things that are quoted or in the Vincentia newspaper. So here is it. There was supposed to be a meeting with the workers of the government pantry, according to let me just read that. So I think it may be better if I read it. And then we discuss it, and then that is it. I'll open the line after that. President PSU has strongly refuted allegation by Minister Montgomery Daniel that he, Boucher, and other PSU officials stormed the government pantry. Elroy Boucher, president of the Civilians and the Grenadier Public Service Union, has denied allegation that he and other members of the executive stormed the compound of the government pantry. The PSU made this comment at the press conference on May 28, during which he sought to clear the air on comments made by Montgomery Daniel on May 22nd in his Daniel capacity as Prime Minister acting. Daniel said that he had received a call on May 16 that the president of the PSU basically stormed the government pantry. And underline the word basically. So I inquire and was informed that Boucher had requested a meeting with the authorities because he had interest in the workers at the pantry. He added that a date and time has been set between 12 and 1 p.m. when it was customary for the workers to be on their lunch break. Oh, Jesus, help me. Yes. Very okay. But according to Daniel, the PSC president showed up at 1:30. And my understanding is that instead of apologizing for his lateness, he went on to the compound, into the building, and disrupted work at the pantry. Daniel contended, however, Boucher denied all allegations made in the statement by Daniel. Firstly, he refuted the claim. So you get the gist. So here what happened. So the union, the members of the pantry, who I believe are members of the union, they had some issues. They informed the organization, and the organization went, the union. And then so Montgomery Daniel or whoever suggested that they should use the lunch hour to have the meeting. So you shouldn't eat. Use the lunch hour if you want to have meeting and have the meeting. You see how ridiculous that sounds? So have it between your working hours. So don't disrupt the pantry. Have it between your working hours. So according to Montgomery Daniel, the president and the members of the union didn't turn up at the time, and they turned up 1:30. And 1:30 was not the time given by whoever were responsible for giving the time, which Boucher denied. And I spoke to two posts and they work at the Prince, and they want to know where Montgomery get his story from, or whether or not he make it up in his head. Montgomery, you may have to answer that, because post at the Prince, you wonder what he was talking about. So the long and short of the story, apparently Montgomery wanted Boucher to apologize because he was late. And you see the stupidness with the storming to the compound. Remember the same language where you, the then president of the Police Welfare Association, wasn't getting any attention, and he made the statement, and they come with the same stupid word. I don't know where they just come up with these words from. He indicated that we will go over storm the Prime Minister office, meaning that we'll go into the Prime Minister office without being invited. So Gomri say now he storm on to the compound. For first and foremost, the Printry is a public place, right? And you can go there from time to time to collect laws or answer the Gazette or certain thing, piece of laws you want to buy. So storming on, I don't know how that makes sense, but let me just read that before that get me back. So you're free to call. Lines are now open, and you can make your contribution to FOIA. And you see me and you and them vendors there. I might have to knock you out one of these days. The vendors have to speak up for themselves. You suggested to them already to form themselves into a group and demand certain things from the town board. And week after week, you come on this program and you represent their interests. And for the elderly lady alone, I can't remember anybody else calling to talk about the plight or what they are going through in Kingston and vending. So you seem like you're more interested in the plight than themselves. And I say that without any fear of contradiction. Let me take my first call. Pleasant good night.
Good night, fellas.
Good night.
Good night.
Guys, there's such a thing as information overload. Done with that one. Now, the last one, Poya, there are some rumors you don't repeat. Okay?
I should swim.
Don't,
I should swim to call him a name.
No, I know. There's some rumors you don't repeat.
Yeah,
anyway, you said, who were the people that were on thing and came in the vote no committee? I am not aware of that.
Hey?
The people who, you say there were people on this thing and some of them came in the vote no committee, right?
No, I didn't say that. I said there was a vote no committee, a vote yes committee, and a commission, and I was a part of the commission.
No, I thought you implied that some people from the commission joined the vote no committee.
No.
Okay, all right. Because I would sue you for that one. I like go to court.
Well, there was two no vote committee, There were you and the opposition.
Hello?
Yes.
The opposition was no part of no
they was a part.
They wanted no part of it, my friend.
No, they were part of the no, but not the committee.
I don't know what part of the no.
Okay.
They did it very reluctantly.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fellas didn't want. They were afraid.
Okay.
Okay. The thing, and since you mentioned that, guy, I was always pushing to get really independent. I don't know why an independent country would have a police prison named the Royal Her Majesty's Prison. I wanted the police name change to the law enforcement. It's all written down somewhere. and get away from Royal St. Vincent Police Force. We're independent. What we doing with them kind of stupidity? We didn't need a referendum for those kind of things, did we?
Frank, the one down the road change.
Wait.
The facility.
Oh, correctional
facility, yes.
Yeah, well, all of them should be changed.
I agree.
And we don't need no police force going around with no. Let's put on the flag.
Police services.
On the police people. The flag of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and to hell get rid of them. What that royal family? An absolute disgrace, isn't it? I mean, when the lady was there, she's a decent woman, but her aunts, none disgrace. Period. So I was in support of that, and changing some stuff. Like I think we need an ombudsman in the country because you can't trust the DPP to take on anybody. The ombudsman will take on everybody. I wonder if we could get NDP and them to address that.
If you get the right person.
Yeah, well, there you go again. There you go. That's it. If you get the right person. Now, so my friend, let me say good night because I know they're listening for you. Look, Abraham, for you don't mind here. I am telling you, the vendors are listening. Okay? And they appreciate somebody speaking up for them.
Yeah, but they can speak up for themselves. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying.
You got people in this country here who are vaccine injured, their loved ones dead, and they ain't talking. Okay? Leave the vendors alone. I will join you, and I will speak for them. Okay? Y'all listen. I will speak for them.
Wait, did Poya ain't told you that they make Leacock, myself, and him went down there, nobody did what they promised, and all of them went into the meeting?
Oh, well.
Well, he didn't tell you that.
No, but you guys didn't organize the thing properly. No. Y'all want to blame the poor vendors now?
Well, they do. I went to the meeting and told me to come down.
Oh, I see.
Okay, good.
Well, y'all should have a session with them before. Did y'all do that?
Poya was the one organizing it. I was just helping out.
Oh, I see. Well, I know they're listening tonight. So I'm telling them. Now, guys, I've been making noise forever, about the vending thing. First thing, what's the definition? Tongue board, Mr. Borgin. What's the definition of a vendor, a peddler? Is somebody on the street, Mr. Borgin, or who the hell ever all you are? It means somebody on the damn street. It's not somebody on some rooftop somewhere where the place smooth like hell and then rain come, they could break them behind. Vendors, check out the word. Vendors, street peddlers, street, Mr. Man, not some hideaway place that no damn body gonna go up there and check them out or buy anything from them. But then, let me use a word somebody used yesterday, and somebody got offended. A whole bunch of them feeding at the troughs. They don't care about the vendors, do they? No, them at the trough don't care about the vendors. So, as I was saying, I went to the Bahamas, yeah? And I go go down there in Nassau, and you see what you're seeing in Kingston? It was there. But guess what, guys? I went back at 6 o'clock, and it was not the same place when I was there at 12 o'clock. Well, them people gone, all them things gone. So I nosy. I born nosy. So I decided to find out what's the deal. That when I come back down at 7 o'clock, I went. They got this restaurant out there on a boat. Where y'all think the thing name? The restaurant name Poop Deck. Well, since I from St. Vincent, all funny because in St. Vincent and Grenadines, poop means something. But check out what the Poop Deck ownership, folks. It's got nothing to do with what you guys thinking about, okay? But you know how me stupid too? Me buy a t-shirt, my Poop Deck, Yeah, anyway, so I asked what was going on. How is it that by the time we go back down there, the thing was, like clean as whistle, nothing. And all the things look exactly alike. And they could lock them up. You know what? They come out there, they set up their stuff, they lock them up in the evening, nice, and pack them away. You know what the whole fee was at the time in 1990? $50 for the entire year. $50. Well, I got all excited. So I came back and suggested the thing to the NDP at the time that we could really just make the thing uniform, not a piece of saltfish box board and a piece of that. And sometimes you got to talk about I. I don't like the pronoun I. But you know what? I suggested to them that they have the, don't hear it on his veil now. What's the name again? The skills place down there. What was the name of that? Where, well, guys were supposed to go to Law of Trade.
Technical college.
Oh, okay.
Technical college. So I suggested to them that they get these people at the technical college to make the things for them, and so that when you go in town, all these things would look uniform. Furthermore, I went a little further than that. I decided I'm going to send them some tools, electric saw, and all kind of things, so they could start. It never happened, fellas. So the whole jalopy thing remained really unsightly. But guess what? Forget what has happened. Now, you walk up Middle Street now. And let me say something. You see, I'm going to say this. There's the very first lady, I forget her name. When you walk coming there from by the police station, she always wants to interfere with me like up to today. But woman, let me tell you something. I don't need anything from Ralph Gonsalves or any political party, you stupid dope. Yeah, so I'm telling them, so all of them know, because it cost the hell out of her today. Yeah? But me ain't get something from Ralph. If someone want something from Ralph or you or anybody, I'd rather starve. And I'll come back to that just now. Anyway, look at, they are uniform. They're not interfering with anybody at all. Why would anybody want to go there now and harass these people? Because it's what it amounts to, harassment. Harassment, telling them to go up on some roof somewhere in some damn sun hot with wind blowing like hell and all kind of stupidness. Leave them to hell alone, Mr. Bogan. Well, I know you're not you. You're just a puppet. You know?
Remember the big man see Bogan is doing a good job, no?
Yeah, you forget he cost him out after you listen, you forget he also cost him out. You want me to get the tape for you? Oh,
I remember.
Okay, all right then. So don't come with the big man say, because the big man say head can't go above shoulders and all kind of stuff like that. So boy, don't get me upset, please. Okay, the big man get there and push that fellow under the bus. And if that were me, Frank Silva, okay, and he made them, I done the next day. What's your name again? So, madam, you understand? You there, the first one when you come in. I can't remember your name. Do you understand that? Nobody is pissing on me like that and tell me it's raining and I stick up there. I must be real hungry. But guess what? I'd rather starve. So, you folks, I mean, seriously, go up in Middle Street there. They're uniform. They're not obstructing anybody. Why you all want to go mess with them? You go in there every 2 seconds and tell them they must give $5 when sometimes the whole week they make $5, but you want $5 from them. The people in the Bahamas charge them $50 for the whole year. Whole year. And you all talking about poor people and this and that and all kind of stupidness. Leave them to hell alone. Leave them alone. They're not interfering in anybody. They're not unsightly. Leave them alone. All right. You mentioned you did a very good job, Abraham, on that billboard scenario. But then the planning board is not public servants, a board. A fella in St. Lucia in 1990 something described this board as a job for the boys. Job for the boys. And I'm saying this too. No, my private property. And if I want to build my dog pen in my yard, I need to go to planning to get approval. Isn't that some bull crap? Yeah? And this law came into being in 1994. It's stupidness. You see? And if you so get all this stupid regulation and regulation. Huh? When my mother and them build a house in Chubuka, I don't think they went to anybody to get any approval for any damn thing. How come all of a sudden you want to build a goat pen, you need to go to planning? Yeah? Well, let me see now. Let's talk about planning. You remember they kept harassing a fellow named Lance Oliver?
Yes,
you all remember?
yes.
Yeah? They go there. The fellow has in American they got outdoor practically on the sidewalk. Nobody messing with them. But in St. Vincent, you on your private property, and somebody don't tell you if you want to put up them things, but you can't put on any covering. But guess what? Drive up Sand Hill, where the fella has the building in the road, and just before that, a car parks there, and that building has a covering. Well, according to them and their rules, that it could be there, but it ain't supposed to have no covering. Yeah? Yeah. Alrighty? No post out, but I wonder who is that person. I wonder if that person has any association with Planning Board. I wonder. I don't know. So some people could put on roof, but Lance couldn't put on roof. They kept harassing him. Boy, they harassing him. Yuck boy we live with nobody near to him complaining they gone again. Lord, in the meantime, a few years back, you get them car for campaign, They came back the car mash up. Have a good boy transmission. When I talk to them about that, they say, well, nobody didn't tell me nothing. My puppies here. Nobody didn't tell them nothing. But they're still harassing the fellow. They're still harassing the guy. But in the meantime, other people could do what they want. No. They got them preliminaries there out of the way? I think so. Now, gentlemen, my topic, COVID and the mandates and all that good old stuff. Now, Abraham,
Right.
you got your friend Glasgow on with our friend Kingsley, right? And you see, listen, I mentioned before the people who are out there suffering, the loved ones die, and they're afraid to talk. They're afraid to talk. They don't want to talk. But Kingsley, who we should now forget what Kingsley said before. It doesn't matter. Kingsley is now coming out. He has the nerve. He has the courage to come out and say, listen, I took this vaccine. Certain people told me not to take it. And since I took it, he said, I feel like I'm dying. So you have Kingsley in making that confession. And you know, the fellow, our friend Glasgow, that dope, is sitting across from Kingsley and say, well, I take the vaccine, nothing happened to me. Seriously? Why Kingsley wanted to continue the program with that guy? Yeah? So is Kingsley lying then? He took it, nothing happened to him. But Kingsley is there telling him. King doesn't come out and say, listen, if I got to do it over again, I am not going to do it. And he there, and some other morons calling in. One of them said she took, I think, 2 or 3 jobs. You see, my tape's not thing. I'm going to put stuff together, but one of my things acting up. She didn't get COVID, before. But she took jobs, and now she get COVID, and now she is claiming that if she didn't take the job, it would have been worse. Maybe if you didn't take the damn job, you wouldn't have gotten COVID in the second place. You're dope. Kingsley ain't get no COVID, right? He went on, and he's suffering. He's suffering big time, and he has to say so. And I recommend you go to see a particular doctor. Kingsley, please. You know, please go see the doctor. Alrighty, go see the doctor. So we have Kingsley coming out there, and we've been begging people, and he should then put out a thing for people to call them. There are lawyers ready, I'm telling you all, ready to file cases in courts for the injured people, not just those who have died. Again, I'm putting a tape together because I'm going back to 2021. Before they passed their mandate. Because Ralph Gonsalves, I'm telling all you again, had the documents in his hand that the thing is stopping no transmission. It is stopping no transmission. And you figure out Ralph Gonsalves' position in 2020 and his position come January 2021 once he met with a certain fella on more than one occasion. Yeah. I put it all together, folks, on tape. Not my mouth, but theirs. No. You mention Miss King, Adriana. No, you see, fellas, how many Japanese did the Americans kill after the Japanese did the 6th of December thing in 1940 or 39 or whenever it was? How many? But after that, what happened? When communism reared its ugly head, who became allies? The Americans and the same Japanese, right? But in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because some people are wrong, and you say they're wrong, and when they right to defend them, I met one of them street there. I say hi. She don't want to talk to me. Big deal. Big deal, because blah, blah, blah. That's how immature some of them are, really. But I'm not talking, let's talk about Miss King. You know, the fellow from, by the way, my information is that Astafan in Antigua is relative to the guy. So I don't know, but they hate his guts. Okay? That's my information from Antigua, that they are indeed relatives, but the ones in Antigua don't just like this one in America. They don't like him.
No, that way he did so name.
Got it. Anyway, but the fella actually misses the point, you know. And again, I gotta put a tape together of what he said about the condition, the treatment of Miss King, and a fella making a statement in 2009 in Grenada. Some fella, when they're talking about celebrating Maurice Bishop, some fella was in Grenada making a statement about his treatment, how he was banned in countries and blah. So I'm going to put it together and ask all to compare the cases, the situation with Miss Adriana King and the situation where he was complaining that he couldn't mind his stop. No, I shouldn't. I'm letting off too much. Wait till all you get the tape. So that, and what was the main reason why Miss King was there? They're missing the point. She was protesting, and I was there because at that point, that's why I was there, Ralph Gonsalves had the information in his hand that after they got the information, after Israel, the guinea pig, Netanyahu, by April, they saw things happening in Israel that wasn't happening before. They started to use people as guinea pigs, right? By April, fellas, people who were not getting COVID was now ending up with COVID, and guess what? Ending up in the hospital. I got the audio, folks. Yeah. So they communicated this information to Fauci and all of them in America. They decided to do their own study in Massachusetts. 470-something people fully vaccinated. Oh, that time was 2 folks. That was a joke, you know. It was supposed to be 2. You're supposed to be fully vaccinated, but guess what? As I told you all, 340-something of them, or 74% of them, got COVID again. I say, what? Ralph Gonsalves had that information in his hand on the 29th of July 2021, along with some other information. So when Ralph Gonsalves and Jimmy Prince and all them come, they had the information. I put in something together with he, where he had too. Because it's on my phone that I sent it to him on this date. So when he gets up in Parliament with his smog, both of them, smog, and talking his stupidness about what he know and what he don't know, and what who say and who know, well, the two should just put out something. I got it there where they were in May of 2023. The fake pandemic was declared over. Over fini. Except the only place it ain't over fini is in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You know what? I'm not doing a good job. Because I should have gotten Trotsky here. But let me to quote him directly. In 29 or 39, one of them. Here's what a fellow named Trotsky said. Poya, who's Trotsky? Poya?
Yeah.
Who is Trotsky?
Who is?
Trotsky. Trotsky. Who is he? Never mind. Folks, Trotsky was a Jew who was imprisoned, right? And changed his name to suit the most cruel prison guard inside there. Trotsky came out and became a communist. So here was Trotsky said. There was a saying, there's the old, see, I should have it in front of me. The old saying that if you don't obey, you shall not, if you do not walk, you shall not eat, has been replaced by a new one. If you don't obey, you shall not eat. Huh? That is what we got in St. Vincent and the Grenadines right now. If you don't obey, if you don't inject yourself with poison, you shall not eat. But wait a minute. So let me get back now. So I got people talking about this nasty sign, including my cousin Pigeon, Reckless. Pigeon, let me ask you a question. I got in it together now, Pigeon. Well, let me ask you a question. Is it reckless to ask people to inject themselves put into your bloodstream, Pigeon, something you have no idea what's going to happen to you 2 seconds after you got it in? Because here's what, Pigeon. People put it in, and within 15 minutes, they assumed room temperature, Pigeon. And guess what, Pigeon? This was known when they were telling people in St. Vincent to go get it, Pigeon. You thought, no, reckless is too nice a word for that. Isn't that, Pigeon? Well, I got some doctors now saying, what happened? The Japanese, boy, he's bad. You see all the Japanese thing there? He's calling it murder. Another, what's his name? Beat, and I don't know. I can't remember all of them names now. Same thing. Because they knew. Fellas, here's something. There's a case right now going on in Ontario. A police officer, not like Buju, a woman, I think her name is Grusha Cruz or something. Anyway, she got reports that nine babies died within a few short days after their birth. So this police officer decided to get curious and wonder all of a sudden how 9 babies could die so quickly. She decided to launch an investigation. Guess what? And Pfizer and them knew too. Guess what? She discovered that you had 32 women where the babies died like that. Guess what, guys? 31 of them, 31 of those mothers were poisoned. Well, who tells you to do that? You know the police brass call her in and suspend her? Yeah, the case is going on right now. in Ontario, in Ottawa. Right now. You all hear what's going on? Yeah? You all hear what's going on? Man, that's yeah, on too long. One more thing before I get off on this thing. So, another case. You remember that PCR test, and I kept asking Miss Keys, what's her name, Beach or whoever, and Duncan and all of them, what cycles they were using to say that people got COVID. You know, the whole thing is amazing. Huh? I meant to check out something. You have 100,000 people in the country, all of them test positive for COVID. They didn't even get them water to drink, but next week they had no COVID. How is that possible? Yeah? How is that possible? So here what happened, fellas. 3 Germans went to Portugal. Y'all, that country, they sound familiar? So guess what? 3 of them. So they tested one of them and say the person tested positive for COVID. You know what they did? Because the other 2 were close to the one that supposedly tested positive for COVID, they decided all of them must be locked up in some hotel room. Which reminds me of a case in St. Vincent and the Grenadines of a certain person who wanted to be European ambassador, but who a certain person said the person didn't have the mentality or something like that. But when that person came back, them fellas decided to harass her and she can't go by her own place. And, well, regardless of what difference I had, right is wrong, and I don't care who you are. When you're right, I'm going to say you're right, and when you're wrong, I'm going to say you're wrong. They were wrong. I said so. So guess what? The Germans took the health ministry in this part of Portugal known as the Azores. The lower court ruled that they were illegally apprehended and all that good old stuff, according to international law and all kind of law. Well, the authorities decided they're going to appeal the judgment. Where y'all think of? Tell me where y'all think of. Oh, this is something, no man, they appeal the judgment. Where y'all think of?
We're waiting on you to
tell us.
I don't teach like that. Yeah? I have some very good teachers. When you show up there, they expect you to have answers. They don't just spoon feed me. You know? Anyway, all right, since you all don't want to answer, guess what? The appeals court ruled in the supporting the lower court that what they did was unlawful. You know what they said? That a PCR test above 35 cycles, and I got Fauci saying so. Fauci saying is garbage. Ms. Keeza, what cycles were you all reading? Keeza Beach. Let me make sure I get it right. What cycles were you all using to say people got COVID in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Yeah? What cycles were you all using to say that 12 persons died from COVID in 2021? Yeah? What cycles were you all using? Huh? Because all of them, all the PCR thing on them, well, the man who invented it said he can't tell you if you got no disease, Mr. Kerry Mullis. Yeah? Here's what the Court of Appeal in Portugal said. Any PCR test above 35 circles could only be 3% correct. Say what? Well, I got the documents, folks. I'll send it to all you. 3% correct. The PCR test, the pandemic of the PCR test. The pandemic, the whole thing, folks, was nothing but fraud intended for Bill Gates and Big Pharma and AstraZeneca to make billions. Yeah? And after AstraZeneca, J&J done pulled back there a long time now. You all know that?
Yes.
AstraZeneca just pulled back theirs now. And some damn fool arguing with Kingsley. Arguing with him. And yesterday morning, I think, some dope sending message to some radio station saying, wait, them they beat a dead horse. Really? A dead horse? Well, if it's a dead horse, you idiot from New York, and I know you're from New York, I could interpret the language. You idiot, you moron from New York. Why if it's dead, how come the workers in St. Vincent not back on the job? How come the man we have here appealing the case? If it were dead, there would be no appeal, would it? Good night, fellas. I've taken up too much all your time.
All right, good night.
Good night.
President, good night. Good night. Okay, I think we lost that. Good evening, gentlemen. Paddy, from the section from the act that was. Let me take the call first. Because it was. Okay, see Mikey gone. Yes. The section. Let me take it about. Good night, gentlemen. Paddy, from the section from the act that was sent to remove those billboards was not applicable. What is a development? It is something that will improve or grow or make change to advance. A billboard does none of those things. When people sit back and say nothing, these inaccurate rules, they come back to harm them. Is there a big difference between a billboard and a sign that's a property or house for sale, or a sign that's a private property, do not trespass? All of these signs are temporary, both erection to get a message out to the people, and most are over 3 feet tall. If a real estate agent has to sell a property, are you telling me that they will now have to go to planning to erect their sale notice? If the billboard is hindering traffic or something, then it's the traffic police who will be responsible to clear the area, not planning. The billboard also tell us that some people who we thought were subject to political buyout, give me a second, out can be easily get the Kool-Aid to drink. The same voice on Sanders' opening day who said that the NDP should have lined the road from airport down is now saying to take down the billboard. They weren't going to victimize, but they got what they want from the government, and now they are speaking with a different voice. Pleasant good night.
Good night.
Good night, good night.
Yeah, I don't know what I was saying. I was wondering if I am on or what.
Yeah, you're on.
Man,
Good night.
Good night to you guys and so on. Well, as from midnight tonight, you know what's going to happen. Gun amnesty will be all over, right?
Yes.
I am thinking if you can call the gun amnesty a success. I don't know how much guns we have in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but let me say we have 100,000 people. I'm kind of speculating, but I want to believe we have a fair amount of guns in this country. There are people with guns who will never say they have a gun, and unless they are confronted by robbers or whoever, or they have to put, or they have to pull a gun. But I'm just thinking. I heard Buju saying how much guns, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they collect 10 guns. I don't know if anybody still waiting to go before midnight to deliver the guns and over the guns and so on. So I wonder what people are thinking, or how is the constabulary thinking if it was a success, if it's going to be a success story with the number of guns, ammunition, how much rounds it is, and so on they collect. And at the same time, I am concerned about the discovery of guns that came into the country, how long ago now? Must say about a month ago, if not more. And I think the Prime Minister was there, subject to correction. He knew. When I heard him speaking, I thought when he put a twist to say that those of us who get in packages from people, family, who we must know what they're selling first. I'll tell them to, they must tell us what they're selling first and so on. So I am wondering if this is all finished with, or if there will be any serious investigation into, because when I heard the thing at first, I thought they knew all the information, they knew who was the sender, or who went to receive it, or because I think I pick up names or written or something like that. Anyhow, I am just, as a concerned citizen, asking the police if this has been a successful gun amnesty, and we need an update. We need an update on all these. I mean,
They may give it next week. They may give it next week.
Why? Why you think next week?
Well, it's finished tonight, so they may wait until next week too.
This is serious business here, man. This is really serious business. I wonder if this is how the Caribbean is handling all this problem we having with guns coming in our country. Look at the big joke they had in Union Island some time ago. One man lost his life in that soap powder thing. I mean, wow, this country is a joke country run by a joke government or something. I mean, people, when you really take stock or take a critical look of what obtains or what takes place in our country, and you want to know if we're really serious about trying to be tough on crime and the causes of crime. So I am just interested because I know I am not going to run away from these, or I'm not going to, let these things just die a natural death like that. Nothing is being said, nothing is being heard. The big man himself, I don't even know what name to call him now, because he got so much titles to his name. He's so much boss in this place that I don't even know how to address him. But he's the one who has to be accountable and responsible to all of us as Vincentians to know if we are living in a safe country, And so I need an update. The other thing is, I wonder if this billboard thing is over, if it is finished with. All this talk about billboard and so on.
Want me to read the headline for you, Dave?
Yeah. Yeah, man, do that.
Let me see if I find it. Billboard was put up by jackasses, said Prime Minister.
Oh yeah, I think I heard that in Zoom. I didn't hear for myself, but go ahead.
It's on page 3.
Oh, that's the headline.
It's on page 3 in the news.
Oh, so what the jackasses?
I don't know who put that the billboard.
What a country we live in. The more, how to put it, how the saying go again, I can't even remember. But this is supposed to be a progressive country. And next thing I'm hearing that since CELAC had a meeting, because I can't see what's going on now, I am in my own confinement. So, but next thing I'm hearing, they still have some billboards up with CELAC meeting, or the meeting is still going on here, something like that. I mean,
yeah, still have one outside there.
Right, I'm telling me, you even know that. When you so maybe whoever talk about jackasses know what they're talking about. Yeah, I can only give that some kind of credence. But who is the real jackass? You got a jackass and you got a real jackass, If that's the language you want to, if that's how you address in these situations, I mean, that is not bringing any kind of satisfaction or closure. We still, whatever is happening out there is still happening, and I mean, come on, we really need responsible people in truth, But if you notice, the world over, so much things are being exposed now. So much governments are being exposed. No wonder why. Look in Mexico, they have an election there too. And just before the election, I don't know how many of them got killed. Man just shoot. Well, Mexico is always there's a hot spot. You know, we know some of the biggest drug men come out of Mexico and all of that. And these are the countries we seem to be worshiping or want to be friends with and all of that. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is being contaminated with some of these relationships we have. You know, I wonder. I mean, when you listen to what is coming from one side, you believe that we live in paradise in this place. You know, St. Vincent and the Grenadines is not the paradise it used to be at one time, because when you make friends with certain people, you have to pay you have to suffer whatever consequences that come along. And we the people have no say in who we establish relationship with, as far as I'm concerned. The other day, our Prime Minister was in the Pacific Ocean, so to speak, and we established diplomatic ties or whatever you call it with a small country, a small island state in the Pacific there called Palau, right? Well, Vincentians will know what is Palau, but how much do we know about this place? You know, how much do we know about it? Why have we established relationship with them? Because these days, when you make friends, you know, and you're looking for something. You're looking to get something. You want some benefit. You want scholarship. You want help somehow. And let me say this, you know, St. Vincent and the Grenadines is really dependent on what they can get from their friends and what other social. You know, St. Vincent and the Grenadines can't take care of itself alone, you know, or by us, the people. But the way our political hierarchy comes over and talk about what is happening in the country, where's the money coming from? What is our productive sector like? Where do we get the most revenue from? And that's why people have to pay so much for taxes. I mean, in all different forms. These are basic things we need to be, we need to be studying and looking at and so on. This is election time, and I know it's going to be hell. It's going to be all kind of old talk. We're going to get St. Vincent is going to become the most popular, if I can put it that way, coming up to, winding down to elections or coming up to elections and so on. Because a government being in office, for instance, for over 20-something years, you think they want to lose that grip or whatever, that dynasty? You think they want to stop drinking, enjoying, eating? And you can see how well some of them eating because they're not in good shape. They have big belly and all of that. So I am concerned about, about what's going on. I mean, it's my country. I ain't lose my voice. I ain't lose my breath yet. And I am just hoping that as we wind down, come to elections and so on, that all is going to be transparent. We are going to see things. We are going to focus on what has been happening in our country for over 20-something years and do the right thing. As Patches of this calypso, do the right thing. Well, I hear saying I got a bad one. I know how bad that is because I haven't heard about it yet. But maybe as far as I'm hearing, you can't play it on the radio. Is that so? You can't play it I tune on the radio?
I listen to that fully, so.
Oh, well, but man, you have to be, these are crucial times, because here they're talking about Zion, I have a bad calypso and so on. So I hope by next program, you either could play it or you can't play it, because you have to be careful and so on. Mm-hmm. But I want to see a change. I think we have had enough. And I don't know what more the comrade wants. He break all records. Well, you only he must want to get all the seats this time come next election. And I doubt he can get that. Because when you're licorice, when you're too licorice, you don't get nothing at all. Oh, God, thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay. Keeping it real right here on Nice Radio. So
No matter where you are in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, your radio is Nice Radio. 101.3, 96.7, 90.3 FM.
Keeping It Real is an interactive radio program heard only on Nice Radio. Join your host, Joel Abraham, every Friday as we discuss important issues affecting our society from 8 to 10:30 p.m. For persons living outside of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you can still listen to us on Nice Radio's website, www.niceradio.info, or you can email us at bdsnice@gmail.com, or simply give us a call at 784-456-5967. Remember, it's Keeping It Real, the interactive talk show program heard each and every Friday only on Nice Radio.
Important historic fact that very few business people have made it into the parliament. We know about lawyers and teachers, but the businessmen who made it to parliament.
yes, welcome back. Keeping it real. Please tell Dave that a successful gun amnesty is not the number of guns that were turned in, but by the reduction of gun crimes in the country, because people can hand in the guns they don't use, or an older use, or an old and kept the new ones. Pleasant good night. Good night.
Hello.
Hey, good night.
Yeah, I'm a regular listener to your program. Since I came back from Barbados from September 24th, I'm listening to your program every night that you all come on. Actually, I was going through my phone and I saw a clip. I think it might be relevant to you all. With some doctors in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I sent the clip to you at least about say 25 minutes ago.
Okay.
To the station.
Okay.
So I don't know if you check it out,
yes.
and again you can
no
listen to it and expound on it.
No problem.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, cool. Yes, so let me read over that first. Please tell Dave that the successful gun amnesty is not the number of guns that were turned in, but the reduction of gun crimes in the country, because people can hand in the guns they don't use, or an old and kept the new one. So somebody, okay, it's an all thing boy. And somebody sending birthday greetings to Matthew Lewis. And they hope that you enjoy your birthday today. Yes. Pleasant good night.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
I want to come back with the problem with the printing.
Yes.
There's several things that should be questionable.
Mm-hmm.
Why should anybody contact the Prime Minister, active Prime Minister? Is he the administrator of the prisons? Certainly not. Is he part of the civil service? Certainly not. And the people and the acting Prime Minister should know better than that, than to talk about it in public. I mean, more better than that. The civil service has a structure. If all structured properly, things will get done.
Mm-hmm.
This Civil Service Association, of which I was a member,
as executive member that. I know how things should be done. And I think the people who contact the acting Prime Minister should know better, and the acting Prime Minister should know better. That's all I have to say, gentlemen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure, good night.
My brother Joel
Hey, good
Abraham,
night.
and good night, my brother Paya.
Good
You
night,
really
good night.
think you really think this Prime Minister is serious about solving crime and criminal activities in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? And I will tell you, he's not. Because take, for instance, from a enforcement point of view, when they hold that portion of cocaine up in Sandy Bay. Now, you would think that good policing would allow a lady to try to make the distribution at whosoever is in contact with her to get it off, because we know that lady does not have any means of exporting cocaine or distribute it in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So to hold that nurse lady, because it was in that clinic, is a cop out. They did not want to catch the real criminal behind the importation of cocaine in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we know anywhere there is cocaine, there is guns. Now, when the Prime Minister talk about intercepting guns at our customs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, I did shipping clerk in this America here. I was a shipping clerk for a company in America from Bloomfield, New Jersey. And there's always a sender.
Correct.
And a receiver based on the bill of lading.
Correct.
Now, how come the Prime Minister never tell the Vincentian people who is the sender or who is the receiver? And if you know the receiver, why didn't he lock them up? Or wait until they come to receive the package and lock them up? And then to get at the sender now, he contact the alcohol, tobacco, and guns bureau in America here and get at the other end of the thing and solve the crime. But he still believed that he could win an election by controlling the narrative in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So even though my Vincentian people still languishing and wallowing in extreme poverty, he still could come and tell you, JetBlue is coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Oh, cheaper flight by JetFlow. Vincent, what does that have to do with you living in a state of poverty? If JetBlue don't make a full trip to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you think they will make the second trip? If the government don't pay them some kind of subsidy to come? If you don't have the economic activities to make it profitable for JetBlue to come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, would you take they would make a third trip? So Vincentian, the whole idea behind creating the economic activities in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that Brother Poyer said, so that our vendors could actually get to pass money in our village communities, is to go back to agriculture, control your fisheries and whatever. Yes, I believe in tourism. But if the tourists come into your country and they are not spending any money into St. Vincent and the Grenadines, if you're not taking them hiking, if you're not using our what do you call it, our heritage square, to make it a place where you could showcase our arts and culture, people could buy crafts and leave some money in St. Vincent, whether it's up at the port by cruise ship or somewhere in the airport. Vincentian, you're playing games. And this Prime Minister think that he could control the narrative and sell us. Oh, look, you see that over there? Ralph built that. You see that another one over there? He built that too. St. Vincent did not discover, we did not discover in 2001. And we need to get up from the stupidness. We had a thriving economy. We had a people that was productive. We had a people that was very upright before we see this Prime Minister here. And he has reduced us to live in a state of extreme poverty, where you're watching women going upstairs and genuflecting before this guy to get some money to go pay a light bill. Vincentian, get back into productive. Be productive citizen. Our young men taking out the INS money and giving heart to strong Vincentian young men for votes instead of trying to make them productive citizens. But yet when time comes now, the people who really put the money in it, you put it out the reach of your life expectancy, and you call that good governance? That's not government. And Mr. Eustace has been warning us for years. He's been warning us. Everything Mr. Eustace always have a concern. Well, I want to see them tell who have the concern now. All you laughing, calling Mr. Eustace all kind of name, but he always have a concern. Well, I want to tell all you now. Let me see who have the concern, because your INS right now is insolvent and your government broke. You're running a government and every day this guy cannot bring the money without you borrow a loan. You're living on a government to borrowing a loan and begging. Your government, the biggest beggars in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the members of the ULP, going all about to beg while our people wait. Wait for what? Wait and living and wallowing in poverty? Get the man out of office and get back into being a productive people. Brother Abraham, thanks for your work, and Pai and the other rest, all those calling in on this program. And stand up. Instead of, I'm telling you, we as a people, with spine, what it seems to me, we have been so low now that it becomes so easy for the saddle to fit on our back that it can't even slide off. Vincentian, go back a spine, man. Nobody shouldn't put a saddle on our back, man. We're a human being. Stand up. Have a good day, my brothers.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so good night, gentlemen. St. Vincent is in a crisis and needs some healing. Not only spiritual, but mental healing. Gonsalves must go. The billboard that he has up has become a landmark in our country, Mr. Gonsalves. Tear down your billboard. Only in communist country there are billboard of dictatorial people in power. Pleasant good night.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, and good night to Sandals and the Grenadines. Abraham,
hey,
how Dave getting excited with this gun amnesty? This is about the third time. It's not nothing
correct.
new. It's not nothing to get excited about. If it's a new whatever it is to implement, I would like to know the results. You understand?
Yes.
But it was there. This is about the third time. Okay? But yes, we would like to know the result, but nothing to be excited about. And it's just the same on level with Pan Against Crime. Pan Can't Fight Crime. Okay? That is how I see it. Now I want to go into education. Now, Abraham, our school system is critical, okay? I don't know if you listen about the diagnostic test that they did. Oh, it is deplorable, okay? And I want to know what is happening with the school system in this pay and wear. Instead of the Prime Minister saying, what you say, education, whatever it is pay and wear. This is the third time intermediate high school for the term is having a pay and wear. Now this pay and wear is
a fundraising activity.
Fundraising for whom?
For the school.
For the school to do what?
To help with some.
To help with what?
Some of them help children. Some of them help children and help out with other things. Stationery and other things.
Sanitary,
yes, they help with other things for the school.
But Abraham, the education system supposed to be like that?
No.
Be honest with yourself. When we went to school, they didn't have them kind of thing?
No, but that is how it is now.
And another thing I want to ask you. They are too excited time about education, the education system is the beginning and the end. Because all know so the end, pure graduation and hearing. Now at the beginning, the input in the school is 100 students, and you have to pay 250 at the beginning. How much thousand is that? Abraham?
I don't know based on the amount of children.
Where that money goes?
Eh?
The school, where the money goes?
I can't help you with that. I got to ask.
But how nobody know where this money is?
I'll have to ask and tell you next week.
Yes, some school is $300.
Yeah, correct. Some is more than that, yes.
By 150. Where is that money going? And why should the parents and the children be burdened with these things, the fundraising and pay and wear this week for the whole term? The children them have half the two. I don't know what they have this for.
But you ain't talking nothing yet. You ain't talking nothing yet. Wait until you have to go and register.
And some say, well, that's what I'm saying. Some parents don't even look in the term book. You see, Friday, they have some school here. Some schools like they don't do one thing on a Friday more than overall. Academically, the children them the time you spend with the children is not there. Okay? So it's not an education revolution, it's paying way. Every means of fundraising, and then the children, the teachers, them are more to me event planners. There always something happening. And when they plan the event, they call in API app, whatever the thing, bam, and the TV. And not in the interest of the children.
Not
The other
all
day-
teachers. Some of the teachers doing well.
The other day had this we call the thing, the hats off to reading.
hmm
Poor thing, have the children who display the hats cannot read. It was good enough. It's a good idea. Hats off to reading. But it's not implemented. Because the children them can't read, Abraham. The system needs to look into. It needs to look into. Because you know what happening there? If at grade 3, everything is so critical. Those are the foundation classes. And if at that foundation classes they could neither spell, read, write, or what happening?
And
What is the output?
And what about grade 6? And some of them in secondary schools also.
Yes. Every minute some function paying where all them thing. Graduation is overemphasized too. You know nowadays they just call it oh boy. The same kind of thing in us, same kind of deliverance, but it was speech day. You remember that?
Yep.
Used to call it speech day. It was well put together also. Sometimes these graduations so much of flurry after you think it's a wedding. A feast, like a wedding.
And they having a ball.
And all them things there. Oh my God. Now another thing I want to talk about. I know if it's surface, but I was hearing about it. Abraham, I don't know how old are you or how young you are, but you remember the playing field on Annisvale?
Yes.
You remember how it started?
Which one? Annisvale or Sign Hill?
Annisvale.
No. And nobody Sign
Right.
Hill one.
This is long ago when cricket playing. Sometime, not where there was not around, but there was certain spots people used to go and listen to the radio. International cricket reached as far as Barbados and some other islands, and St. Vincent never had it. So Mr. Frankie Thomas, had the idea because, he was passionate with cricket. And others, let me put on others. And among them was Philip Vera, P.H. Vera and son. They started it. And subject to correction, I think P.H. Vera was financial in starting it. Or maybe his finance stand, that was the name.
I heard the finance stand, yes.
Now I'm hearing that they want to remove the name from P.H. Vera and put Winston Davis.
Yes.
Abraham, it is unethical. Why should somebody have that idea? I want to believe because I put in Winston's name, it is something good that the crowd can jump and say yes. Give Winston something original.
Yeah,
And I don't think his family will agree with that.
Somebody said the playing field should name after him instead.
Yeah, why remove a stand and put Winston Davis? No, if we go a little further, let's go out to Diamond. There's a stadium out there. If I were to ask you, Abraham, Sir Vincent Beach, which sport was he in?
You to run him out.
All right. All right. Why was that name after him? You have a lovely name, Diamond Stadium. Leave it so. And this thing with naming thing after naming thing up. I'm not in agreement with it. St. Vincent's too small for that. People go and come some school name after. Leave the school name according to the area. You understand? And this, like for instance, oh, Jesus, I don't understand what is happening. Why remove the name? Philip, oh my God, be a gentleman now. And I mean to say Mr. Findlay is there. He's alive. You understand? Mr. Michael Findlay is there. Mr. Michael Findlay.
You already have a stand.
Guide the PM accordingly. It's unethical to do such thing. You don't take one thing and get the history. And that field was started maybe around 1972, if I could remember. I think I went to and I see 1972. Yes, and the first match here was New Zealand and West Indies. Maybe Paul, you're older than you. He might remember that.
Far older.
Yes, he's a grandfather.
Exactly.
All right. Yes. So Paul will know. Yes, and nobody is not against matches playing on this, but Oh my God. Why you have to do them things there? Remove a name. It's history. Hmm? Hmm? And I showed my Mr. the gentleman from Layu. He knows about that. Yeah, everybody was excited. They have you're playing field and what's not. Eh? How all of a sudden you want thing? Give the man something original. And do not remove Page Bearer. He was there at the beginning. He started it, he put him money where he mouth lie and leave it just.
And somebody told me that Winston Davis used to be a worker at the ECGC also.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes, and I don't think Winston Davis' family were like that. They won't like it. Huh? Where are we going? What are we teaching our people? Huh? Well, we have all these minds, all these evil thoughts and thinking, and nobody won't say right. You see, it's Revelation, you know. In the last days, wrong will look right and right will look wrong. Now, I want to ask Poya one thing. Poya, coming with the vendors. That's your passion. Now, I was in agreement with moving the vendors around Kingston, the vegetable vendors. But you see the one up Middle Street there? Since I know myself, I know Abbey was like that. Okay? But I'm not getting the reason why they're moving them. What is the reason, Poya? Huh?
Adoway Sanders.
Huh?
Adoway Sanders.
Nobody know why they're moving them.
Nobody know why?
No.
Adoway Sanders.
Everybody speculating. Yes. But why moving them? Why? Huh? Like
Adoway Sanders.
You don't wear sandals?
No.
You better learn to speak proper English too before you could wear sandals. Let me tell you that. You better learn proper English before you could speak sandals. Okay? Gentlemen,
I never see sandals.
Right.
Have a good night.
Okay, you too. Pleasant good night. Hello, good night.
Sonia.
Yes.
Good night. Sonia pulled me out, man. Sonia gave me a call. I called, Sonia pulled me out. Now, Sonia say what am I excited about? Me? I'm too young now to be excited, Sonia. I've been doing this now for about 50 years, you know. When people used to be afraid to speak on radio, Dave Roberts, have been doing that for a long time. Since the Prime Minister, before he became Prime Minister, even he couldn't take my talk. I could, you know, there's a lot of things I could recall, I can remember. Because, you know, some of us want to only talk. Anyhow, Sonia, I love how you're the only female active in terms of radio talk show. I look forward to hear you. And I know when you call, I know you are a public servant and all of that. So let me give you some exposure. I mean, I know people know your voice and all of that, but I know when you come, I know you're one of the conscious, did I say young woman? I know you're one of the conscious woman, of intention woman. So when you say something, I am being enlightened, and you never give up on the public service. I know you always keep in close touch with what goes on in the public service. And I think you have a lot more to say. So I am just saying all of that to encourage you in what, in here, you know, making your voice heard and so on. And wish there were many more like you. And oh boy, something you said I wanted to respond to. Something and kind of
the page where you were playing field, the education.
Yeah, the playing field. Okay. I mean, what is she saying? They have removed.
No, there's a suggestion to replace Page Bearer or Page Bearer with Winston Davis.
No. I would say no way. No way who say, well, Page Bearer ain't got nobody. He's not. Remember, he is the founder of that ECGC. It used to be known as Flour Mills, and then they expanded into East Caribbean group of companies. Come on, we don't know the history of these things. So I would not.
I was told I was told that it's his money build the stand also.
Even when the Army Channels went into bankruptcy, he stuck with it.
What is stuck with?
When
What
his
is it?
investment in the Annisville playing field
Mm-hmm.
caused a riffle with the flour mill till he almost went into bankruptcy. And he faced his struggle and went through all that situation.
Okay. But I'm not too sure if I understand what you're telling me there. I'm not hearing you too
He was
clearly,
saying that they went to bankruptcy and he stood with them during that period when the Annisville playing field at the time. Yes.
Still didn't catch
Okay,
I
okay.
still didn't catch. But I am saying that P.H. Vera is a household name in my lifetime. I know he died now. I don't know how much he has since he died, but he was, and I still think is a household name among those of us who are around in his time. And it's just like I feel I am not happy with how they remove they removed the airport carried out to Argyle.
And
So we don't have
the center, Joshua Center.
But who's Joshua?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Joshua?
Just call it Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
Just call it Joshua Center. I think that's really dishonorable of those so-called honorable people we have say they doing things in this country. Yeah, you got to rub it in hard, you know. You have to rub it in hard because them think they got all the sense or all the brain in this place. Our first chief minister, and I'm sure a lot of young people don't know that, you know.
Correct.
I'm sure the younger people who go in school now don't know that. The Honorable E.T. Joshua.
He also started education.
I am so happy. This guy, I remember how people used to say all things about him, how he got money in Switzerland. You know, that was a big talk at one time. He got money bank in Switzerland. And I had the privilege, I would say privilege, if not opportunity, to see he and his wife in the last days up at Mackey's Hill there. When I go up there and I see, I'm saying to myself, wait, how he could be?
You have to blame a particular lawyer and calling a name. I ain't joking.
How he could have been a chief minister. Then I remember in my travels to St. Lucia, I run into the Hinkson, one of those Hinkson. The Hinkson name was a real, how should I say it, big name because Hinkson, Boo Hinkson was leader of True Tones and they're well-educated people and served St. Lucia well. And I remember one of them, when they met me for the first time, said to me, you all had a prime minister, you know, not prime minister, chief minister. When I met him, he used to work with the Windward Islands Broadcasting. So, boy, it's a good thing I got some history in my head, you know. He said we went to interview him. And I couldn't believe this man was chief minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and lived in such humble condition. And he asked me, and I was surprised when he told me that because I had just recently get to know where Joshua lived at the time. So he asked me, he said that he's still living up on that little hill there.
You remember to give me a story. Remember to give me a story on the next week. We almost out of time, just about 2 minutes. Poya and Abraham, good night, because election is next year. The Prime Minister decided to give Spiritual Baptist a national holiday next year, the 21st of May. Poya, you have 1 minute.
But I miss if I go without asking the Minister of Agriculture, when will workers get their money? The anomaly that was created by the minimum wage, and also those who have been working fortnight after fortnight, and they can't get paid. There's no money in the account. When you come in and you thump in your chest, you could go every end of the month and collect your salary. These people, the bills are piling up on them. What do you want them to do? Enjoy the weekend.
And the fisher folks on the Windward side, I know some of them did not collect the money. I heard that some document was signed, and I hope that they receive their monies soon. So let me hope that they receive their money soon. So, Dave, next week, we will get into a discussion with Ebenezer Theodore Joshua next week, if I remember. And I'll give you a little information how he ended up in that condition. And I
will research any baptism.
I give you oh boy. I remember I had an individual who was supposed to come on the program with me a couple of years ago. And when I spoke to Joshua, a daughter, and told her that I'm going to bring on this individual, that also is history. Until next week, DB, have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Keeping It Real is an interactive radio program heard only on Nice Radio. Join your host, Joel Abraham, every Friday as we discuss important issues affecting our society from 8 to 10:30 p.m. For persons living outside of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you can still listen to us on Nice Radio's website, www.niceradio.info, or you can email us at bdsnice@gmail.com, or simply give us a call at 784-456-5967. Remember, it's Keeping It Real, the interactive talk show program heard each and every Friday only on Nice Radio.
This moment is all that I've been dreaming of.
Join the vibes for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup in the party stand. Enjoy live performances by top artists, the hottest DJs, and so much more. Get your tickets today from Korea City Store, Kingstown. ICC Men's T20 World Cup, the vibes in the party stand. It's going to be out of this world. Get your tickets now.
Since 2012, we have provided reliable, professional dialysis services in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are now proud to offer you new solutions for your health problems. Each new solution is being delivered to you with the same high degree of care and professionalism. We also use the best technology in the delivery of our services. So, does your doctor need a precise view of what's happening inside your body? Let us perform an ultrasound for you. Ladies, if it's your breasts, then choose our mammography service. For all issues related to men and women's health at any stage in your life, our team can perform the necessary investigations to put your mind at ease and recommend solutions for your problems. If it's to see within your chest or check for broken bones and fractures, then use our state-of-the-art U-Arm X-ray service. For you aging men and women,